young people are sexually active, overly active sexually.
Okay. Young people, she has even added overly. I love that. Overly sexually active. So it makes them, it makes sexual reproductive health one health indicator, right? Any other? Okay. So accurate information. If you are peer educators that are going to make referrals, that are going to give young people with that are going to give young people this information they need, do you have the accurate information that you need? Okay? Or you're the ones going to tell them if you have sex in this position, you won't get pregnant. We have heard such stories, right? Okay? So is the information accurate at the first place? Because if you give them inaccurate information, you won't have helped them. Okay? But then the information that if we saw a group of peer educators going to a primary school distributing condoms to them, is it age appropriate?
No.
Or having a family planning discussion on an assembly primary school, is it age appropriate? Why is it yes?
I'm saying yes because nowadays we realize even in classes like P7 and P6, kids are going to school and they are mature. They are mature. They are doing this sexual stuff. So I realize it's appropriate to teach about that. We can't just ignore the fact that, oh, it's a primary school. If it's possible, separate the P6 and P7 people and talk to them. And then these young ones stay in their rooms, like their classrooms, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. On that same note, I'm going to flash some quick questions. This is a value clarification exercise. So, I'll you say no, you also shoot up your hand. Okay? Are you ready? So, the first one, a 15-year-old virgin girl does not need to seek family services. A 15-year-old virgin girl does not need to seek family planning. How many say yes? How many say they don't need to seek family planning services? You're still not sure. One, two. So the rest say that they should seek. Okay, how many say they should seek? How many say they don't know? Okay. So I've had two. Young people should access adolescent sexual reproductive health services in the same place with adults. How many say no? Why are you saying yes? Okay, we shall come back to that. A 17-year-old girl who visits a health center to pick condoms should not be discouraged from taking them, but should instead be counseled about abstinence.
Should be discouraged.
Should be discouraged.
No, the question is should be discouraged, but you read not.
A 17-year-old girl who visits a health center to pick condoms should be discouraged from taking them, but should instead be counseled about abstinence. Do we agree with this statement? So for you're saying they should give them condoms.
Yeah, they should give them.
Okay.
Yeah,
A young person who is
people are
involved in
sexually active.
ladies are saying the more yeses. Why?
Yeah, I don't think it's advisable as a sexual act because it can cause some complications. Yeah. Um, those genital complications.
Okay, thank you. Let's hear from her as well.
Yeah, it shouldn't be advisable because, I mean, the more you do it, you're going to become addicted to it. And that would really be a problem. About the complications, what I've read, masturbation doesn't have any complications. Yes, from what I've read.
It has. Okay, let her tell us. It seems like she knows.
Masturbation has complications. They, because when you use it for a long time, it brings erectile dysfunction at your elder age.
If we had an elderly person who would tell us if it's true. Any other? Okay, let's hear.
Yeah, masturbation has complications in male.
In
Male.
even female masturbate, no?
Mm. In male, the complications are the premature ejaculation. That's a complication.
The other hand was here.
Actually, mine is just like a question. Like I sometimes get confused because you can maybe make some research and then read somewhere and then they say masturbation is good and then sometimes they say it's not healthy. So like I really get confused.
So you don't have the accurate information.
Yeah, I need a clarification.
By the end of my presentation, we shall have that. Let's hear from her.
Okay, me, I think masturbation is not good because for men, it can bring some complications in the future. For example, prostate enlargement, which causes prostate cancer.
Thank you. Nawira here. Masturbation, it can play around with your emotions if you do it, if you're addicted to it. Later, when you get a partner in life, you find that you can't be satisfied. Even however much they do, whatever they do, you feel you're not satisfied because in your mind you're already used to playing with yourself. So I think everyone should just avoid it. And why they say it's good is because it doesn't bring any health problems to you as long as you have your clean hands doing it. That's what the doctor told us the other time. It's not going to bring you an STD, an STI. It's totally a good method, but you have to be mindful of the effects, after effects. You enjoy it now, but it has after effects later. Thank you.
So we are saying masturbation is bad.
It is.
Is alcohol good or bad?
It's bad.
Bad.
Bad. It's both. Is social media good or bad? Both. Is masturbation good or bad?
It's bad.
So we don't have both for masturbation. Okay, so the main point is addiction. There is a hormone called dopamine. Have you heard of it? It's a hormone of happiness. Okay? So every time you get addicted to something, that hormone is secreted in abundance. That's why when you're addicted to social media, if you see a message popping on your phone, you get that excitement. Huh? That's why if you take a bottle of alcohol, you get that excitement. It's the same thing with masturbation. The more you masturbate, the rate at which the hormone dopamine is going to be secreted keeps increasing. Okay? So even just like she said, when you're in the sexual act, the brain was already stimulated to produce that hormone. Okay? So it automatically produces it in that it will bring that premature ejaculation and all that comes along with it. The same with social media. That's why many people are addicted to social media. Literally, we are supposed to charge our phones in the evening. holding it, but if being with you alone communicates something, okay? So let's have that discipline of addiction. It starts with addiction. Phones are not supposed to be even in your bed. You're supposed to charge them in the living room. You go and
Alarm.
sorry? Alarm. How much is an alarm for? Can't you buy an alarm? Why? Anyway, so that's the bit of addiction. Family planning services should only be available to married couples. Hmm? My brother here is refusing strongly. Why I say no?
I'm saying no because it's not only the married couples that produce or like can get affected by the problems that are usually affected by families. So like the thing may be for using condoms. I may not be married, but yet my partner also has some STDs, but yet I need the family planning methods that can help me.
Do married people get unwanted pregnancies?
Yes.
Someone has said no. Why?
No, I hadn't thought.
You hadn't thought through. So, family planning services should be available to married couples. How many say yes? And how many say no? So the rest are neutral. They may not get. Okay. A 15-year-old girl who gets pregnant should be blamed, condemned, and expelled from school or home because they are a disgrace in society and failures in life. They should stay in school. They should stay in school. They should stay in school. So what picture are they going to portray to their peers? Do you know what it means to get pregnant and you're in school? Hmm? Or whatever evening when you're not pregnant, the burden alone is a lot for you. Then go back. So the point here is expelling them from school. They should be in school.
No.
Suspended. Grace period. Okay. Young people should access adolescent sexual reproductive health services with the consent of their parents. Hmm? Huh?
Yes.
If I'm a doctor and you go to find out I gave your 14-year-old family plan without asking you,
May I think yes.
No.
May I
I
think it
have
is a yes.
the previous is it how they go? When we were learning about family planning, the lady said, if a girl, a 14-year-old, comes to her and asks her for family planning, she would give it. And she would not ask her, the parent, that should I give it to her? Because she has come for it. She would give it. That's what she said. After she would advise, but she would give.
so that's her. How about you, the parent, if you were a daughter
Now you're a parent.
If my daughter,
and you got to know
I got to know,
very good, gave your child family plan
I would be very fine with it.
because you don't have it?
Actually, if I was the parent, oh, okay, on the first time I hear it that she got the family planning advice, okay, I would be pissed off because she's still young now. What is this? What? But at the other point, I would be proud because I'm like, yeah, she knows what is right and she can protect herself.
Any other?
Yeah.
You can just stand up and as you ask a question.
Me, I'm not asking the question, but if I was a healthy worker, I wouldn't give it to the 14-year-old. It's because according to our law, anyone below 18 years of age, they either need consent from the parents or they cannot decide on their own, of which if a parent comes in and brings this, I might be in trouble.
I would like to ask my colleague a question. So after 3 months, if that 14-year-old girl came back to that health unit where you are working and you refuse to give her a contraceptive method, and she comes back after 3 months pregnant, would you be happy? Yes. One thing you should know about young people, like she said, they are very much sexually active. That is one thing you should take into your mind when you're looking or when you're dealing with young people. If she comes for family planning, talk to her. Know the reason why she wants this family planning. Because we know that many young people are being sexually engaged even at the age of 10. So talk to her and get to know which contraceptive can work for her best at that age. It is better to protect her so that she can be able to be in school and complete without getting pregnant. And in the end, it will be good for all of us. And do you think she can talk to the parent? Do you think she can talk to the parent?
Thank you very much. I would love to differ a little bit. By the time a 14-year girl comes to the nurse or the doctor and not confide in you, the parent, you know there is something. So young people, most of the times, we are not even confiding in our parents, but we'll confide in someone outside. I would prefer to confide in a nurse. I tell her something that is most confidential than to my parents. So young people, don't be 100% that your son or your daughter tells you everything. So you give.
Actually, yeah. I would like to remind my sister that last week, was it this week or last week, when the lecturer said that at times, like, talking only won't be enough, like communication only won't be enough. Sometimes we need to take action. Yeah, you may give this girl the advice, but still she will go back and do whatever she wants, because there is, okay, when you're in adolescence, there is this thing that they say that for those adolescents, there's a time that reaches and they do like the things that are opposite. Yeah.
Me, I'm going to just, what she has said, of course, we take it as it's not right. But first, she's looking at it in that angle of, I would feel bad if my 14-year-old sister came to a hospital I am working at and asked me for a family planning method. Why are you doing that? You're not even supposed to have sex. You get? So she would advise her not to. But as a peer educator, you're obviously going to refer her. You're not going to refer her back to her parents to talk to them. By the time I'm coming to the hospital on my own, I definitely have reasons as to why. Talk to her, then refer her to maybe someone she can confide in. When she gets the family, because she has literally gotten to know why I need this family planning method. Maybe I have a threat ahead, or maybe my boyfriend wants to have sex and I'm trying to avoid what? Getting pregnant at the same time. I do not want to lose him. So she's weighing up her options because she knows that there is a family planning method that can actually work, even if I am 14 years. Then as a peer educator, of course, you also tell her, but you should also know you are too young to start family planning. If she has a boyfriend, maybe you can get, if she's comfortable with you talking to her and her boyfriend present, it is okay. If she is not okay with it, do not force it. Refer her to the counselor, let her get the method done.
Have we heard of emancipated minors? Do we know who emancipated minors are? So, the Constitution of Uganda says anyone below 18 can't make a decision of their own. Then when you go to family planning, the Constitution says anyone below 14 should not be given family planning. Okay? So, an emancipated minor, if you have a 13-year-old even, and they are telling you they are sexually being harassed by their brother or father, because you have seen them, right? And this child comes to you for family planning, why would you refuse to do it? So you have to weigh the risk versus the benefit. Okay? And then you get to know if this young girl is emancipated, though she's a minor, we may go and give them the service. Even in contrary of what the law says, medically you're protected. Okay? Because a medical officer, you can make your judgment depending on your own what? Insights. Okay. An adolescent who reports to a health center with severe genital warts that have an offensive smell should be blamed for not coming early for treatment and should also be warned not to make the same mistake. No, not what? Should not be blamed. Should be blamed. Okay. You know, young people, you don't like confrontation, right? But at some point, we need to apply metallic handling so that you learn something. Okay? Though she may have issues why she didn't come to the facility. Before you put the metallic hand, you have to first exhaust all the story behind, okay? But though sometimes you will see us apply metallic hand on you and people because we want you to do something in the right way. Though doesn't mean every time you have to be it, okay? Sometimes we learn the hard way. That's a common slogan that has been used. So you have to bear in some circumstances. Adolescents are still children who cannot make decisions about their sexual lives without guidance from adults. Adolescents are still children who cannot make decisions about their sexual lives without guidance from adults. They shouldn't make decisions without guidance from adults. Huh? They shouldn't. They shouldn't. They shouldn't. Okay, sorry for what I'm going to ask. Did you tell your... Let me just whisper this one. Who is bold enough that can take up this question? Your first sexual encounter, did you tell your parents or your... You didn't? But we are voting. No, yes. What about you? No. He said he's a virgin. Providing sexuality education to young people promotes early sexual activity.
No.
Do you know what sexuality is? Huh? Sex, sexuality. Do you know the difference? Yes or no? Do you know the difference between sex and sexuality? Okay. Sexuality is we know that women go through their... Okay, sexuality is what defines you as a man or a lady. Okay? Women go through periods. Women, when they reach a certain state, their voices becomes, their lips becomes, that's sexuality. Then sex is the deals with things like menstrual hygiene, things like body changes and all that. Then sex education is the other way around. Okay? So, providing sexuality education to young people promotes sexual activity. Does it? Hmm? It doesn't. Okay, I'll rush through because of time. A boy and a girl cannot be in a relationship without having sexual intercourse in marriage.
They can. They can. They can.
They can. It is two way. You're saying they can, but okay. They can and they do are different things, right? Yeah, it's true they can, but yeah, they can. It's true they can, but do they?
Some.
It's true they can. We have all accepted they can, not so. But do they?
But to a least extent, smaller extent. Okay, okay. Out of 100, let me say like 5% can do that.
Okay. Abortion should be legalized in Uganda. She's saying no. Why?
For me, I'm saying no, it is a bad practice. That is enough. It is bad.
Can something be bad for no reason? So why does she say it's bad?
You know, you get complications. And you can even die.
But you can also, if they refuse to abort for you, you can also die while giving back. It's a, I like that one. It's a sin. So you shouldn't do it. But you do other sins, but you don't want to get yourself from that. Uh-huh.
Uh, I feel like abortion should be legalized in Uganda, and I highly support that. Why? You see, right now, abortion is a crime in Uganda, but we see that many people are losing lives because they're doing the illegal abortion. If it is legalized, however, we can have health centers put there for abortion. Someone goes to hospital or to the health center and be like, I want to do an abortion. So that's why they will do the counseling. Why do you want to do the abortion? Is it because you're not yet of age or you won't be capable of giving birth? So that's where the how can I say, the reason for abortion will come in. If the health workers are like, you can keep this baby, do not abort, then that person won't abort. But if someone is unable to keep the baby, then they'll have a safe abortion. And that's why we shall not see the many deaths of girls trying to do abortion. Thank you.
For this one, I want to hear more from the women. Eh? But anyway, men, you can also contribute.
So, all right. First, I'm going to talk from a Christian perspective as well. Well, okay, the Bible says, I think in John, that the light, Jesus, he was the Son of God, and he was that light, and the light was the life of men. There was a research in the US, there is even a video that showed that instant moment when a sperm fertilizes the the egg, all other sperms won't be able to fertilize the egg because when that, a lot of hormones are released from the head that enter and sort of cover, that make the egg hard, so no other sperm can come. So the research was done in a lab, and that instant moment, there was a glimpse of light that showed up in the microscope. So that part is that life has already entered because the soul of the child has like come in. So there's a battle of risk and reward. If we legalize abortion, yeah, there are reasons why it should be legal, but I see that the risk is higher because one, from a religious perspective, you are ending a life. But then again, you are getting people to know that, okay, if I have sex with this guy and by any chance I get pregnant, I believe I'm in my safe days, but even if I don't choose protection, I know if I have that child, I can get an abortion. So the risk is higher than the reward for me in this case, and I don't think abortion should be legalized yet.
So you are, what I pick from her is you are ending a what? A life. But you have a 14-year-old who is pregnant. They have an inadequate pelvis. If they kept on with the pregnancy, you could lose both of them. Okay, in medicine, we mainly look at one, you save them both. Hmm? If anything happens, the concentration drives on the mom. If you can save the mom and leave her the kid. So, losing a life and losing lives, which one is better? Okay, let's hear from her.
Like from her point of view, she was like being more Christian. What of us who don't know God? I mean, yeah, that's your view. So you also have to take like us who don't believe in God in whenever you're deciding you get. And the other thing, the generation we are in, we are the kids. We are more exposed, and like they're getting to know about sex at an early age. So they're keeping like they have sex at an early age, so there are going to be higher chances of many youth getting pregnant. So I think it should be legalized in that in case, because you know we are getting like awareness about the family planning and stuff, but in case things go wrong, this person doesn't have to worry that my education is ending, like my life is messed up, but there's that, like I can go for abortion and yeah, and continue with my life. And okay, for a safer, to make it more what they could make it, yes, legalize it, but make it expensive. In that, you know, yes, I've gotten pregnant, but it's expensive, yes.
So, in Uganda, abortion is illegal, but forced abortion care is legal. Do we know that? Hmm? Abortion is illegal, but post-abortion care is legal. Aren't we shooting ourselves in the foot? Sorry? By law, it's illegal. It is unacceptable for a girl to approach a boy she feels attracted to and propose a love relationship. Huh? But you can mean like being proposed to.
starters, sex work is not a crime. That is someone's profession. That's how she's sustaining herself. That is how he is sustaining herself to feed their family, pay for fees, I don't know. But for an 18-year-old to get engaged in sex work, that is where the crime comes in. Because you are yet to be an adult. You're not yet an adult. How do we know that before you turned 18, you aren't still practicing what? Prostitution. That's where we bring in the parents for questioning. But also circumstances around it is what we have to ask. Why are they even getting involved? That is why we bring in the parents. If they do not have parents, they have guardians. Because a child does not just jump out from nowhere, obviously.
That brings in the concept of emancipated minors, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, that's
I would like to correct my colleague. According to the Penal Code Act of Uganda, Section 178, prostitution is illegal in Uganda, and there is no age restriction for that. So it is a crime according to the law. A crime is not defined by you as a person, but the laws of the country do define what a particular crime is. That is why I said prostitution is a crime. Thank you.
as a source of income.
Yes, it's a source of income, so they are going to be taxed. It is not a crime to practice prostitution. That's why they are taxing them to manage to be taxed.
So prostitutes should be having tin numbers. Okay, so young people's partners should be vetted by their parents before marriage. They do it. Without you knowing. Really?
They can invite your when you say I'm being proposed to and invite me, they're going to question you without you knowing.
Okay. I think because of time I'll end the value clarification there. Then we're looking at the minimum package for adolescent-friendly services. Then the other was contraceptive and protective method provision. Be it, we know that adolescents are long-term. We shouldn't be giving them long-term, right? By law. We know why. You had a session on family planning, right? Did they tell you why we don't give young people the long-term? Okay. But young people, we only give them the short-term. 3 months, yeah. Sorry. 10, 24 years. So we don't give them long-term unless otherwise, okay? Then the minimum package should also comprise of STI diagnosis and management, HIV counseling, testing that should be highly confidential, with testing services and information on prevention, care, and support for those who are living with HIV. Then it should also have pregnancy testing as a basic, support for victims of sexual violence, post-abortion care. We know what post-abortion care comprises of? We don't. Okay. My time is. Okay, post-abortion care, you're looking at things like, one, we know that's a full topic that we need to go through it. So, a victim of sexual violence, you need to, if you're giving them post-abortion care, one, you need to enroll them on family planning, okay? Because we have had issues of repeated teenage pregnancy. So if they got pregnant and they didn't want it, chances are high that what? They could also get pregnant again. You understand? So as you're giving them, one of the packages of post-abortion care is family planning itself. So you tell them about family planning and all that. Then the other is, the other concept of post-abortion has the concept of psychosocial support, scheme management, and all that. Then it should also have behavior change promotion, the whole component of PCC. The other is involved within programming and design. We talked about that. Peer-to-peer education. That's very, very key. If you're having an adolescent-friendly corner without peer educators, it's like you're doing nothing, okay? For reasons that we talked about. Then youth-friendly communication. If the president came to speak to you here, it's not the same way I would be speaking to you. Okay, yo. So the communication for young people should be tailored in a different way, even at the health facility. If a young person is walking into your clinical room, the way you're communicating to them as a health worker, as a peer educator, is not the same way you're going to communicate to what? To their parent. Then it should have a support system to encourage young people to refer their peers to the facility. So you, as you go to your different communities, you should be able to refer and identify cases. You understand? If you may not wait for a person to tell you that they need a service, but if you're with the knowledge and skills that you're obtaining, you can be able to identify your friends at hostel, at school, then you're like, this guy is sexually active, but he's not ready for what? For you. You could refer them, go and get family planning, counseling, anything in that line. Okay? Yeah, so I want someone to read for us this scenario. Could stand up. Let's listen as you read.
Imagine a 15-year-old named Rose who needs help accessing contraceptives. Sarah feels shy and worried about being judged. However, she goes to a nearby youth-friendly health clinic where the staff are specially trained to make her feel welcome. She is greeted by a peer educator who shares information in a way that feels relatable. The nurse provides her with a private space to discuss her concerns and offer her the contraception method that best suits her needs. While ensuring confidentiality, Sarah leaves the clinic feeling empowered, knowing she can return for any follow-up support.
So do you believe Sarah was helped in that way? Yes. Huh? Yes. Okay, then I'll flash one other one. This is a bit long, but you could read for. Are you able to see it here? Are you able to see?
Yes.
Okay, so you can read for us.
Again.
Sorry?
Again?
No, this is a different scenario.
Okay. Sarah is a 15-year-old girl living in a rural community. She comes from a poor family and is still in school, hoping to finish her education and one day become a teacher. However, Sarah finds herself in a increasingly difficult situation. She has been feeling nervous and confused about her sexual health, especially as peers have started to talk about her relationship and pregnancy. One day, Sarah decides to go to a local health center seeking family planning service. She knows that she is not ready for a baby, yet she wants to take control of her future. Sarah has heard from a few older girls in her community that there are options to prevent pregnancy and protect her health. Nervously, she enters the health facility, hoping for a hopeful, confidential conversation. However, upon arriving at the clinic, Sarah is met with judgment rather than support. The health workers on duty, a middle-aged woman, looks at Sarah with disapproval when she asked about family planning. Are you too young? You are too young for that, the health worker says sharply. Girls are girls. Girls your age are girls your age should focus on studies, not these things. Sarah tries to explain that she's just looking for information, but the health workers dismisses her request and tells her to leave. We don't have time for children who aren't ready to have a baby, the health worker says, as Sarah is shown out, embarrassed and feeling rejected. Feeling defeated, Sarah walks away, her heart heavily. She turns to a peer educator in her community, hoping for some guidance. Unfortunately, the peer educator is not much more understanding. The peer educator, who is in their early 20s, tells Sarah family planning is only for that word, and girls that are young. I can't see where I am. I can't see where I am. Like I've lost where I should see. Okay. Oh, okay. Tells this peer educator who is hoping early. Okay, girls and that young girls should be focused on finding husband. It is a woman's duty to have children. The peer educators called. You should be ashamed to think about contraception.
Okay, thank you so much. We'll give letters to Sarah's experience.
Sarah's experience. Sarah feels ashamed, unsupported, and confused without any without any reliable advice or assistance. Sarah continues to struggle with her sexual life in silence. A few months later, Sarah discovers that she's pregnant. At the same time, she realizes that her pregnancy is already too advanced for her to have a safe, simple abortion. The ripple effect. Sarah's parents, unaware of her situation, are shocked by the news of her pregnancy, decided to kick her out of the house. Her school also expels her, and she becomes isolated. Having nowhere to turn for support, she has no choice but to drop out of school and care for her baby, which adds to her already overwhelming challenges. During pregnancy, Sarah is now her second trimester. Sarah, now in her second trimester, starts to experience complications. She didn't know that parental care, including iron supplements, could have prevented some risks in her pregnancy. She also wanted education on the importance of regular antenatal checkups, where where issues like spinal bifida in her unborn child could have been detected earlier and addressed. Had she been informed on the possibility of birth defects, iron deficiency, and HIV prevention during her pregnancy, her situation could have been different. The delivery. When the time comes for Sarah to give birth, she faces obstructed labor, a condition where the baby cannot pass through the birth canal easily. This results to medical complications for her, for both Sarah and her child. After a long time of painful labor, Sarah's baby is born with a spinal bifida, a birth defect that could have been prevented with proper nutrition and parental care. Sarah's suffering before Sarah's suffering does not stop there. She tests positive for HIV as well. A result of unprotected sex and lack of access to preventive education or services. Her baby also contracts the virus from her during childbirth. The consequences. Now Sarah faces a lifetime of emotion, financial and physical struggles. The cost of medical bills for her child's condition is astronomical. And she has no income. And she is not able to return to school or find work due to her new responsibilities as a young mother. The lack of access to information and support has not only compromised Sarah's own health, but also jeopardized her child's future. The absence of youth-friendly services, adolescent-friendly peer education, and compassionate health workers has left Sarah with few choices. Her child's life is at risk, and Sarah now faces a lifetime of challenges that could have been prevented with the right guidance and support and education.
This is a true story. It's not made up, right?
We start by arresting the peer educator.
The peer educator.
Yes.
So who do you think was the main cause of all Sarah's problems?
The health worker and peer educator. We start from there.
Any other? Who do you think was the main cause of Sarah's problems bringing this scenario? Yes.
The other nurse at the other health facility, the nurse, the one she approached first, and then she was giving her shameful words. You're too young to do this, you need to be in school. That was the beginning of her.
So these two scenarios just paint for us a picture of what the long-term consequence may look like for the little decisions that you may make right now. Right now you may look at them as little, but the aftermath is way too overwhelming, okay? So don't take it for granted. Always make sure that you give the basic right information. I believe you've been given that information that you need to be ambassador sexual reproductive health. So you should strengthen the referral networks,
Who are we? We are that far-reaching hand, going deep to the front lines to achieve continuous breakthroughs, simplifying health information and bridging the information gaps in communities. We are transformers, transforming lives with a strong belief that young people have the power to create a better future for themselves. We don't only have a strategy, we have a purpose to build and empower young people through our programs. Taking advantage of new trends and opportunities to respond to the health needs of all young people. We don't only have a vision statement, we have a vision of a world of young people making right, informed life choices. We are not just a youth-centered organization, we are champions of an informed and empowered generation. Champions with promise to keep building systems that empower and improve livelihoods, health, and the quality of life for different communities, most especially young people.
My name is Mary, and this is my story.
Ebire bibika enjuba nyabo teyalaba kasana kaali katayimu kanzikiza ng'omusajja amaaso gazibiriza talina bugumiikiriza nsasira omuzadde yagera ku makya ng'alumizibwa nabonabona mu bulamu kawalanga kalina oh yeah ssente tewali naye kakasome nasula enjala kayigirizibwe nasula enjala kasobola okulya ne bwoba gwe nakooka nagwawo nyabo kekake kekakiyeyiyaya ne basekerera ne boogera ebifu nabigumira kawula kekalina leka boogere efuuketemu nefuutukeri nerikalingiza neribika ku nsonyi nerikalabisa sonyi wanyina wulira bwakaba nakulukuta amaziga wulira omulanga kwe ulaba kumikiriza kakyali kato soma lulala tolunda kaleke kasome kanyabo kaleke watirirako kakyali kato soma lulala tolunda kaleke kasome kanyabo kaleke
dore umwana aracyari muto little sister brighter future ejo hazaza n'ahandi niwe believe me when I say this oh yeah don't be the monster unknown would you be the angel she needs please hold my hand be the reflection of my dreams oh yeah why don't you let her realize her dreams why tell me why
kachali kato swama lulala kaleke kasome kanyabo kaleke wait kachali kato swama lulala tolumya kaleke kasome kanyabo
kaleke shokola tekikkirizibwa mu bayibolo ne Qur'ani okutunuza omwana omuto mu mbuga ya sitaani maani muleke abeere vagini nga nnaani. Can't you see that she's barely an embryo? Obeera mulwadde okumulaba nti eyo ye laavu yo. Olimba kanyabo okayingiza mu nnyumba yo, okozesezza bukodyo okunyakula ebyako, okujjula ebitayidde ekkomera ly'otunuulidde. You should treat her like a sister from another mister. Guide the young senorita, barely taller than a meter. She's too young for the pressure from a man. She's barely 16, toyonona future plan.
kachali kato swama lulala kaleke kasome kanyabo
kaleke kaite mu uniform yako kaleke
kachali kato.
The beginning of time she stands tall, a queen with a smile that conquers all. Her beauty extends beyond eternity, her tenacity vicious and bold endures all.
With hands that soothe and eyes that gleam, she turns every house into a dream. At the heart of her home like a drum, she's the beat of your mama. Muchala, her love is replete. A gem whose worth is beyond measure, defying societal bounds thrown against her nature. In every plight, her resilience knows no bounds. She is a warrior,
Fierce and brave, her scars tell her story. Oh, her glorious story of battles fought and won, near, far and wide.
Mazima ddala mukyala muzira, mukyala wa kitalo nnyo, mukyala mukozi ddala era mukyala atalera ngalo. In every boardroom, she commands with grace.
At home, she nurtures with taste.
At school, all she does is ace.
She is a shooting star traversing space. A captain gracefully steering her ship. She is a leader bold in every space. And her body, oh, her body she's reclaimed. With knowledge as her armor, she's armed to the teeth, navigating her sexual choices with wisdom beneath. No longer subject to others' expectations.
No longer a pawn in a game of control. She takes control. In the digital realm, she takes a stand.
With clicks and taps, she raises her hand.
Harnessing take, she makes her demand.
With every tweet, every post, every share, she amplifies thousands of voices.
Breaking the silence, fighting online gender-based violence.
Through pixels and screens, she empowers women across the globe, rewriting the code of equality, breaking the chains of iniquity.
She spreads her wings, a butterfly in flight, her spirit sings,
shattering boundaries with grace and might. She lives her life as a radiant light, morphing and evolving. She continues to soar. She is ready for more.
As filmmakers in this room, when we unite, work together, we have the power to conquer every challenge in our spaces. Let's join forces, share the stories, and showcase the riches and diversity of our Ugandan heritage. Today, we gather to celebrate our achievements. Let us be inspired to reach even greater heights, tell our stories boldly, and we create magic together.
Tonight is a celebration to honor each and every one of you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2024 Icon Awards.
On behalf of Rich Hands, we thank you very much for honoring our invitation to celebrate one of the most important industries world over.
This room is filled with the trailblazers, the pioneers, and of course the icons. that form the true backbone of our Ugandan TV and film industry.
Big congratulations to all the winners. Let's show some. First and foremost, I would love to welcome everyone that has blessed this function. Let's make some noise for our nominees tonight. You're the reason to why we are here. You're the reason to why the Ugandan film industry is thriving. You're the reason to why our young people are able to listen to the Ugandan stories, get empowered, inspired, so that they can make the right choices in life, as the mission and vision of Richer Hand really states. I'd love to take this honor as well to thank our partners that have really made this happen. All their efforts, their money, and their contribution, because they believe in the film industry in Uganda. I'd love to appreciate the team at Sauti Plus Media Hub, but also I'd love to appreciate our team for Richer Hand Uganda and all our partners here tonight. Thank you so much. We are looking forward to Campus Arena Hotel. Let's come to celebrate each and every one of you that has been nominated tonight. We appreciate you, and also we ask for us to stand together to unite our industry for the betterment of Uganda.
Welcome to the first edition of Icon Awards.
Today all of us are winners, and today is a day that we have started history together.
Tonight, we stand here to honor the most outstanding screenplays that stood out from the rest of this year. So the best screenplay goes to my husband's wife. Listen, Bulgarians are doing.
I've written a lot. I've never been appreciated. Thank you, Icon Award. And the winner for Best Actor
I think when I first realized that my dad was an actor was when he was in Team Line.
You could not tell me Arnold Schwarzenegger when there was Michael on stage.
I first got to see Michael on television preparing for the film Mississippi Masala.
I'm a filmmaker from South Central Los Angeles, and I was blessed to come to Uganda to make a short film called Boy No Fear. And that film would not have been possible without the love, the sacrifice, the help of Michael Waweyo Sr.
I acted with him as a young girl who was being forced to get married to an older man.
I met Michael for the first time the year that The Last King of Scotland was being shot. And I think he was one of the people that were doing location scouting for Last King of Scotland.
As a kid, I saw him, I watched him keenly.
I met Uncle in 2015 when I was still a student doing a UFF exhibition.
You cannot talk about film in Uganda without talking about Michael Waweyo Sr.
Stone Cold was a film that I first worked on with him. I was just on set, seeing how it's done.
I acted with him, theater, Hands of My People.
We worked on a project together. It was called Center 4. Center 4 was a 13-episode health drama. We worked on 2 other projects together. Sometimes in April, that was filmed in Rwanda.
He's multi-talented. I don't know anyone else who's like him.
My dad has always been a 360. He's not just an actor. He's self-taught to a level of near excellence, given the right setting and production. So for me, watching him has greatly impacted how I work in film today.
He has got skills with makeup, with wardrobe, with props.
I am even one of the scenes we had to do, I think, special effects on one of the actors. And he's the same guy who was putting a wound.
He's been there through theater, television, film.
His name speaks volume. Google him.
He's one of the greatest we have.
I just want to say thank you to Michael, and I'm glad that you're being honored.
I could not think of anybody else as deserving as he is.
We're blessed as an industry.
This is one way that Uganda is giving back to you. Congratulations.
Congrats, Uncle. We love you.
I call you the Denzel of Uganda. I hope you get your flowers, and I know this is just the beginning.
I cannot think of anybody who deserves this award as well as you do.
Congratulations.
You left no stone unturned, and you still pursue to do that. We love you. We honor you. Congratulations. Daddy, I
think when I first realized that my dad was an actor was when he was in Team Line.
You could not tell me Arnold Schwarzenegger when there was Michael on stage.
I first got to see Michael on television preparing for the film Mississippi Masala.
I'm a filmmaker from South Central Los Angeles, and I was blessed to come to Uganda to make a short film called Boy No Fear. And that film would not have been possible without the love, the sacrifice, the help of Michael Waweyo Sr.
I acted with him as a young girl who was being forced to get married to an older man.
I met Michael for the first time the year that The Last King of Scotland was being shot. And I think he was one of the people that were doing location scouting for Last King of Scotland.
As a kid, I saw him, I watched him keenly.
I met Uncle in 2015 when I was still a student doing a UFF exhibition.
You cannot talk about film in Uganda without talking about Michael Wawi, Senior.
Stone Cold was a film that I first worked on with him. I was just on set, seeing how it's done.
I acted with him, theatre, Hands of My People.
We worked on a project together. It was called Center 4. Center 4 was a 13-episode health drama. We worked on 2 other projects together.
All right, so this must be a guy. And the question was, why are men left out in some social life? E.g., why do you say men and not raped or cannot be raped? Whoever asked that question, I hope I got the context right. The question is, can men actually be raped? 2 hands, 1 guy, 1 lady, just to confirm whether a man can be raped. From this side. Oh, you again. Okay, Alinda, can a man be raped?
Yes.
Yes. Under what circumstances can a man be raped?
The cause, I think.
A little louder. Oh, it's not on. No, just use this.
I think, like, men can be raped. The cause is that, the problem is that men are not aware they can be raped. So they safeguard less. Yeah, that's what I think.
So men can be raped, but they are not aware that they can be raped. The question is, what is rape? Does rape involve any physical?
When the intention that has been invited, when the intention in which they have invited you is not something you want, you don't do it. So unless, and by the way, this is biblical. When the Holy Books say that the female gender is a bit maybe weaker than the male, and if you're saying if rape, which is forceful sex, involves some physical something of that kind, I don't think they can. So it is up to someone to actually fall, if you fall a victim, meaning you also had the intention, because someone has laid you down.
Wow. I see the hands are really, really, really getting up. What do I do? You respond in a minute or 30 seconds and get straight to the point. Eh? All right? So I will start right with Bridget. Will you change position? You are seated there, the other way.
Okay, to me, what I think, known to an extent,
Yo.
Genda oyongeze pressure, olaba pressure kuni kali akaliko pull.
Sexual abuse. For us to understand that we are all vulnerable in a way. Men can be raped. And we get to understand how and why. But then what we want to do is to bring it to the appreciation that it can even happen in a workplace. All right? And that is what we want to get into. The second comment was, safeguarding was an interesting session. Learned a lot about the rights of speech becoming more the voice of the voiceless. That's good. At the end, okay? All right, then we need more, and this is to Humphrey. We're coming back next Friday. So they're saying we need more sessions on safeguarding because some of us have been receiving issues among our fellow students at school that are being disturbed by the teachers sexually. And I want to paint a picture that we have an woman and we are not in heaven. This organization, inclusive, we cannot deny the fact that there's something wrong happening in this institution. Do we agree on that? And there are people here, and I want to emphasize this, there are people here that are dying in the inside and cannot speak. We can even have as many as 10 safeguarding sessions, but there are people who will not speak. Is that true or not? It doesn't matter whether it's a boy, whether it's a girl, whether it's a lady, whether it's a man. For us to be able to appreciate what safeguarding is, it is beyond us coming here and talking to you guys about safeguarding. Our attitude has to change. Respect for one another to change. And I'll repeat this. If a lady says no, it means a no. Some of you have this, especially the guys, because you have a cape and you flip it like yeah? You think you have vibe. Okay? Because you've been pumping your muscles like this guy, you feel you have vibe. And so in the corridors when you're going to pick tea, you want to rub your muscles onto the chest of the lady. She's not interested. If she was interested, this wouldn't be the best place for us to do that. Are we together? So, what is safeguarding? Before we get into the definition of what safeguarding is, I want us to understand 5 concepts. 5. Safeguarding involves sexual exploitation, sexual abuse, and sexual harassment. And that's what we're going to discuss today. But also, safeguarding involves all other forms of abuse in a workplace. That includes physical abuse, emotional abuse, including neglect. And that is what we want to discuss. Sexual exploitation is, abuse, harassment is. And we shall share a few examples. We understand that. We can conclude our conversation by it means. Are we together? Yes. Any questions? As of now? Are we good to go? Yes. So let me welcome one of my colleagues to just go deep into what sexual exploitation is. Do I have to transfer this to you? Or is it another one? Good. Do we feel a little safer now? Are you sure? Are there cases that we have to report? No, I have a toll-free line. No one will know that you've reported. Yeah? Can I give you my number? Yes. So that you're able to talk to me? Okay. So that means there are issues, huh? All right. So? Oh, people in your community. I want first focus on you guys. Yeah, even you guys, yeah. All right, Diane, over to you.
Hi, everyone. So we are going to talk about sexual exploitation. Henry has given us a good introduction on this topic, and I'm hoping that during our discussion we can be as free as possible when we are discussing this topic. Can somebody tell me their understanding of sexual exploitation? Yes.
I think sexual exploitation is like forcing someone to engage in sexual activities.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
According to me, I think they are unwanted sexual behaviors. Yeah. Such as threatening someone through, like, you threaten them before having sex with them.
I know I have given hints because it's projected, but still I need your understanding.
Okay, to my own understanding, sexual exploitation, I'm just going to give an example. Let's say we are in an organization, maybe reach a hand. I'm just giving an example, I'm not saying it's done here. Then maybe the CEO, he has the powers, so he can use that power over someone to drive them into having sex forcefully, but because he's using that power he has, that's sexual exploitation.
Thank you so much. Anyone else? Anyone here? Not sure? Are you sure?
Well, according to me, I think sex exploitation is similarly taking advantage of a person who is weak in order to be satisfied with sex.
Thank you very much. One more. I wanted to do gender balance, but it's okay.
I think I can explain it in a way that, okay, it's similar to the lady that said over there, that taking advantage. Or I'll give an example of, let me say a father, like these priests brings out something in a way of charity that he's collecting girls and he's going to be providing things like education, health services and all that, and then he opens up maybe a school. However, he uses these girls like his own, like, how can I say? They're now his. He uses them, even the teachers themselves. So that's more of exploitation, sexual exploitation. He has exposed them to this sexual stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, to my understanding, I think sexual exploitation, it is like lowering someone into sexual intercourse due to their status or position. For example, I may be in great need of something. Maybe it may be food, maybe I may need a job or even money. And then the condition that is there, it is actually to go in with me, to have sex, then I give you what you want.
Thank you very much. Would you conclude that sexual exploitation is more common than we actually thought it is? So in this definition, they talk about vulnerability. And I think Henry mentioned that all of us have a certain level of vulnerability. And I'm thinking, since you're peer educators, when we were having interviews for a scholarship program, almost everybody that we interviewed indicated that they are peer educators. Because with peer education, it's a sign of leadership. You're contributing to your community, you're being assertive, you're receiving certain types of training, and those are the qualities that people are looking for, no? No or yes? Good. So it's talking about, with sexual exploitation, the issue is the power imbalance. Power imbalance because the person who is a perpetrator decides to abuse their position so that they can get what they want. Even though in the process of abusing, even the one who is being abused has something they want. Right? Okay, so with exploitation, the key features are there. It involves a power imbalance. It involves something. You're getting and giving something, right? And it can be in form of deception. You can be deceived, or you can be coerced, or you can be forced. I don't know if anyone can give us a scenario, if you're bold enough. It doesn't have to be you. It can be something that you've observed, whether here or somewhere else, which you might think could be a way of exploitation. Is anyone bold enough? You are? I had a yes. I just don't know where it is. Here? Oh. Is it a yes? She needs time to think about it.
Thank you. So my scenario is, there's a company driver I knew, and now because, you know those drivers who drive the executives, so they're always in the Porsche cars, and there's a certain way they dress because of company expectations. So this particular driver used to wear suits. Not Nasur, you guys. So this particular driver used to wear suits, but it was because it was expected, because he was driving the executives. But when he would go to the field, he would lure women, coerce them by now deceiving them that, you know, he's a big person in the company and he'll be able to give them a position. But of course, he wanted like a sexual favor in return to support them. So by the time we learned as a company, a couple of women had fallen victim to that lie.
Thank you very much. So in her scenario, the scenario she has given us, we had a situation where somebody was vulnerable. They needed a job, right? They needed a job, and the other one, seemingly, is supposed to be the one to connect them to the job. And because of that, he was able to get what he wanted. Now, it does not matter if at the point at which they got what they wanted, whether the other person agreed or not, because it can be consensual. But the approach is from deception, coercion, or force. So there are different forms that I've projected here, and some of them can apply to situations that we have encountered, others may not. But one of the issues about sexual exploitation is that it's normally a progression. It does not start instantly. Usually, somebody may groom. I don't know if, do you know what grooming is? When you're being groomed, somebody comes to you, they are, being nice to you, and you think that this is real. You can even develop a relationship. But remember, the key features of sexual exploitation is, one, there is vulnerability, there is power imbalance, and there is false trust. So you're thinking that this is real, but the other person has their own agenda. Somebody wants to say something.
Thank you very much. So I have, at a certain university that I've attended, there is a professor that was given to a student as a supervisor during research. He's done this to several students, and thank God he was sent away. But there's one particular student that was attached to him as a supervisor. So at first, he used to ask, he would ask her for sex. So she reported, and then he would not only ask for sex, but he would also ask for, if you fail to give him sex, then you have to pay. Like, you pay for him to supervise you, and yet you're not supposed to pay for that. So you find that they got to find out, the board got to find out that he had slept with a lot of girls that he had been attached to as supervisor, and then he had even infected them with HIV. So that's really disheartening.
That is quite unfortunate. We hope she got the help she wanted. Yeah. So she's given us an example, a typical example in the institutions of learning. I think we've all heard in the papers about sex for marks. That is a very typical example. But sexual exploitation is not normally very far from us. It can happen in our very homes. So you can have an uncle, and by virtue of being the uncle, and your father listens to him a lot, and you need certain things from your father, or the uncle may be the one paying your school fees. You understand? I don't want to start saying much about uncles, but I'm just giving an example, right? Or it can be a situation where Aisha Kila, there's somebody, Aisha. I think Aisha you've seen many times where a Haji who is supporting a family, and then the Haji is promised, the girl is promised in marriage to them. Does it happen? You've heard of it, right? And when the girl reaches senior 4 or senior 6, they have to go and become Haji's wife. Not so. But did the girl consent to it? But you see, she wants to go to school. And Haji is the one who is doing what? Providing the resources. So at that point, it doesn't matter even if that girl said yes or no. The fact that there was a coercion, the fact that her vulnerability is being exploited, that is already sexual exploitation. You've heard about the ladies who go to Oman, Dubai. Some of them, you go, you leave, the company will tell you, oh, this is what is going to happen. You're going to go over there, you'll work, get $2,000. You've heard the stories. But do you think it begins at that point? No, you're coerced, you're told you are going to go and work. So when you're leaving, you have a good cause, right? It's just that when you get there, they will do things to you. They will threaten you, they will take away your passport, and then they use you for things that you did not agree to. And in fact, many of them, there has been reported they are getting into things like prostitution. But now we've also heard about the nudes. Nudes. Why do you think people reach an extent of putting themselves out there? What do you think happens? Yes, ma'am.
First, help me rephrase your question in like why putting themselves out there or someone putting their nudes out there. Well, in most cases, when it involves nudes being maybe like linked nudes, yes, I have trusted my partner with something, but because of a disagreement, he chooses to do that to get back at me. Or I got comfortable with a certain individual. We used to exchange nudes, and for some reason, he needs money. Most of them always want money. He needs money for a certain thing, and he chooses to exploit me in that way, using something that I know I will not accept him to put out there. So he uses it against me to get something from me, and if I cannot afford, he obviously puts it there.
Thank you very much. So one of the, from the stories that we have had severally, is that this person maybe gave somebody some kind of support, and sometimes they do not return the favor, or they return but it's not enough. Okay? Now, you cannot understand the mind of the perpetrator, but you believe that that perpetrator is for you, and they will keep your secrets. Or other times, there are scenarios where the perpetrator meets you on Facebook, for example, and then they will begin this conversation with you. How are you? You look beautiful. Can you share a bit more pictures? Of course, that is after more frequent interactions, and you grow to trust them. And in the process of trusting, you're giving out information about yourself. And when push comes to shove, they ask for what they wanted right from the very beginning, and it is blackmail. Let's hear what you have to say.
Auntie, this is an experience from a close friend of mine. I think that sometime here at campus, she was broke, and then her parents weren't supporting her financially enough. So there's this guy she was talking to, he was a married man. So she gives him that one time to get tuition. And then after getting the tuition, she cuts off the communication. But this guy looks for the girl, and he's like, the last time we met, I recorded everything that happened. So you have to keep meeting me. If not, I'm going to post them. Yeah.
Thank you very much. That is a very good example. Anyone else with another example? Before we continue. In this place, has anyone showed, why are you smiling? The moment I started, he was laughing, so you smiled. In this place, for example, this is just an example. It doesn't happen in this place at all. You are peer educators. You want to go out there, get some form of experience, yeah? To put something on your CV or to increase your opportunities. So maybe a gentleman or a lady is treating you nicer than the other people, yeah? And you're thinking it's normal, or you even know it's not normal. But you know that you also want something. If, and that is just an if this person, man or woman, treats you nicely, gives you favors, gives you opportunities, sends you to better locations to do your peer support, right? And then maybe you develop some kind of understanding. I'm not going to call it a relationship, but it leads into some kind of sexual encounter. Would you call that exploitation? And why?
Yes, I would call it exploitation, because she's trying to give me something for something. Yeah, that's why I call it exploitation. No, I don't want that something.
No. But you're benefiting from them in some way, right?
Yeah.
actually say it's exploitation, because as you said, sexual exploitation does not happen there and then. It takes time. So the fact that this person is being nice to me, I'm not suspecting anything, but the day they actually say their intentions is when I get to know, oh wait, all this wasn't because you're my supervisor or you needed something later on. If I accept, it's because you helped me and I got somewhere. I need to be there for some reasons I don't know. But if I say no, I would rather say no than get to where I want to be because a man maybe did something to me. And
to add up, on what you said, I guess that was exploitation because you feel the guilt and you want to return the favor. That's why you would go to a greater extent and sleep around with a person because you would want to return the favor.
Thank you. Yes, please.
Yeah, thank you. You said in this place. It's an example as well. It might have happened, I don't know, because we had a boy talk and my boys were a little bit also complaining because we've had some issues that have been addressed. And they were asking me questions. Now you see, some girls are very nice to us. We are fearing to be nice to them. What should we do? You want names? So they were like, what should we do? Should we be nice again? So they want us to define how can we be nice to each other, because maybe that is something that has to be communicated well. Then the other part is that, of course, it's an example. There are scenarios whereby you find someone maybe being nice to someone, they are buying lunch, they go somewhere, maybe they transport each other for some transport. So what is that called as well? So they are finding it very challenging how to be nice and not how to be nice. So maybe that can be whatever. Then also, some of us are also being nice in a way. Are you going to be nice consistently like that? Or how can we be nice? Is nice by saying hello, good morning, how are you, whatever? Or maybe nice can be like, by the way, what's the plan next after here? Can I be positioned in a position that I can get more privileges? So we as boys were a bit confused that have been here. We don't know how to be nice because we have been limited on being nice.
Thank you very much. I think it's a very valid question. And with exploitation, you remember what we talked about, the key features? There is abuse of power. Power and privilege. You get what I mean? Because the process of grooming, it is so real. It is so real because we are interacting amongst each other and we are interacting with our mentors over there. Yeah, so it is real. So grooming happens many times over time. And we need to be a bit more vigilant so that we don't fall victims. Yes, please.
Thank you. I also wanted to know if, for example, like you said in this place, I introduced myself as a head of human resource. And some peers take it out of themselves to be extra kind and extra nice to a head of department, sending you messages on WhatsApp, even in weird hours, but just to check if I'm okay, and extra. Is that also harassment?
Thank you for that question. And I think one of the challenges of these subjects is that you may not be aware that you're being groomed, right? So you may be thinking this is innocent, but you're being groomed. And I think that is why, even in workplaces or even setups like this, there's a code of conduct, no? There's a code of conduct. So you want to be able to espouse the values that this place has created and stick within the limits of your operation. Every time we step out of limits, we don't know where the boundaries are, and you can be caught off guard. You, the one who is being groomed for that encounter, and you, the one who thinks you're just being nice, but you're being seen as someone who is taking advantage of somebody's vulnerability. I need to close this soon.
Okay. What are the chances that the heads here would fall victims of sex exploitation from us? Because I think it can also happen. Just that I feel like you guys are only looking at us being exploited, and then you're not helping them because they might face the same problems.
Thank you. It is a valid question. I think the aspect of vulnerability, we cannot bypass it. What makes you more vulnerable is that you are the one who is not in a position of power. So the person who is in position of power has a bit more, how can I say, responsibility. And because of this vulnerability, you know, when we are dealing with issues related to sexual offenses, issues of vulnerability always come out because they know the person who has power over the other, it's easier for them to coerce somebody into a situation they don't want to be in. But she was asking whether, for example, let's say the HR, I don't know if she's the HR, but let's imagine, and there's a young man here who is also making their way. Making their way, sending birthday messages, putting her on WhatsApp status and all those kinds of things, and I'm told it's called love bombing. Love bombing the person, you know, and the other one wants something, the other one also wants something. But the issues of vulnerability still come into play. So there is no way you can warm yourself out of this situation and say, oh, they also wanted and they chased me and all that kind of thing. Because in this place, we have a responsibility, each and every one of us. Yes, sir, you wanted to say something.
Good afternoon, everyone. Well, I have a question. Now, if someone is being nice and if someone is wide open, someone comes to your WhatsApp, or maybe you've gone to ask for a job and someone tells you openly that I want this. Or maybe someone is sending me a message on WhatsApp but is being open, telling me that you're going to do this and this and this. And in that process, so is that also sexual exploitation?
So you're saying you want the job, and the other person is able to give you the job or to influence you're getting the job, right? Uh-huh.
Then that person tells me openly, because nowadays people are open. You understand, people no longer hide their true intentions. Because we are in the world whereby someone can come openly and tell you that we are going to do this openly, whether a man, whether a what, a lady.
Okay. I'm coming back to that.
Thank you. For me, I'm looking at a scenario that is not in such a setting of a formal employment. And I'm looking at girls who are underprivileged, who meet these old men who have some money. And probably this girl is going to campus, university, and she doesn't have enough money for tuition. And so the guy offers to pay her tuition. And after university, probably he marries her. Is it still exploitation because she was in need and this man could afford to pay tuition or not? And yet this relationship has ended into a marriage where now they are consenting adults. So how would we explain that scenario?
Thank you. Now, we're coming to that.
Okay. For me, I have grown in this this kind of environment. You have to give something. You have to get something after giving something. Yes. In this world, there is nothing for free. Is that sexual rotation? If that man is taking care of you, giving you something, money, all, everything, and it's your turn to give something, yes.
I'll start with hers and I'll say yes. Because there is abuse of privilege and power. Henry, do you want to respond to? There's a question that talked about a man looking after this girl, send her to school, educate her university, and it ends into marriage. And they are wondering, is that sexual exploitation?
All right. There are definitely so many scenarios, and some of which, especially when it comes to safeguarding, a lot of confusion is going to set in what exactly something is and what something isn't. And where the confusion comes in is, I know of people that can groom a lady for even up to 10 years, even more. I know that. And sometimes you cannot understand whether it turns out to be a successful relationship. I don't know whether it can be out of respect or mutual understanding. A typical example, and again, Humphrey, I'll just use this. If a CEO is dating you, there's more benefit for you than him. Not so. There's more benefit. Now, what do you expect? How do you expect to respond? You have to be nice. Not so. You have to give in. All right? There's so much that you have to do to maintain the flow of the revenue or benefits that come from the CEO. Grooming a young girl up to the point of, and the question is, what does consent mean to us? If the CEO came to you and says, I want you, and you said yes, does that mean consent? Is there a coerced consent? Is there a coerced consent? Guys, help me define these things. Is there something called coerced consent, where you have no option but to say yes? Is it there? So that's where the challenge comes in with these definitions here. So it doesn't matter whether the girl has been groomed and now they are so-called happily married. It doesn't matter. It started from a place of misuse of power and authority. And that's where the issue comes in. And usually for us, it's not about how the end does not justify the means in safeguarding. Where you say the guy paid the school fees, so he should be rewarded by getting a fifth wife. So you go for him. It's a bit complicated, all right? Your hand is up? I'm taking over someone this session. Yes. All right. This is to you as we wrap up this session. Yeah.
I'm a Muslim. I come from a Swahili family. My mom is from the Swahili side. So this safeguarding issue, is it part of, do we also put a culture base in it? Because this thing of hajjis and all that, let me give you an example, right? Where I come from, the culture of the Swahili is the same as the Arabs, right? So for them, they believe that for a marriage to work, if maybe I love Joan, I don't first approach Joan. I go to the father of who? Joan. And then I ask the father for permission to marry who? Joan. But usually, these people are very poor. You get it? And these kids are like, more like, she's up to age, right? So if I talk to Joan, and the parents say, because in our culture they say that you go talk to her, if she says yes, then you guys can go. And then Joan says, I want to go to school, right? Can you afford to pay my tuition and all that? You get it? But this is a cultural setting, right? And as we don't believe in dating, like this dating, you sleeping with someone's daughter for a while, you get it? And then you leave her. As we believe that all the culture says that I have to marry Joan and take up all the responsibilities that come with what? With Joan. And this includes a tuition, blah, blah, blah. So my question is, this safeguarding issue, does it also, consider maybe people's culture? Like Baganda, we believe in this, and the Banyankore believe in this, right? So does it also put in this cultural factor? You get it? Like how you say the French, when we meet, they kiss, they peck each other. So if a French man comes here and he pecks you, you get, for him, that's their culture from where he comes from. Is that a safeguarding issue? That's my question.
Thank you very much. And I think that's a very dicey ground, culture and religion. Those two. Sometimes we can spend the whole day here. Because culture, religion, sometimes even the politics come into the fray, but mainly those two. And I don't know if, Tetsi, do you want to say something about this issue?
We're bad with time, so we have to go into sexual abuse and safeguarding as well. So, do you want to quickly wrap it up?
So maybe she'll talk about these issues when we continue. And I think you've seen the different issues that we have discussed. So in the interest of time, and if there are questions, they can be forwarded and we can look at some of those things maybe next time. So I want to invite my colleague to continue with the next section about sexual abuse. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry to take you a little bit back. Yeah, there's something that I read there. The forms of sexual exploitation. I saw something where you said phone sex. It's not clear to me. What does it mean? That thing, phone sex.
Could you allow me to respond to that later, please?
Hi, everyone. So I just want to quickly talk about sexual abuse. So just maybe two people, do they have a quick definition on what sexual abuse is? No? I go into it? Okay, so this is any unwanted sexual activity where the consent is not freely given. It can involve manipulation, coercion, threats, or force. And it can be committed by someone you know or a stranger. So sometimes I know you get a bit comfortable thinking, oh, maybe this is okay because this is my friend, and you don't take it too seriously. As long as you're uncomfortable or this person is doing something that's not accepted, that can be put into you being abused. I want to also go into like the acts like sexual assault, being molested. Sometimes when we talk about sexual abuse, people quickly go into it's rape. But it's not just rape. You can be molested and that's you still being sexually abused. Even restricting access to condoms to someone or the person refusing you to take your birth control can be sexual abuse as well. So let's just be clear that people should always remember that we should always respect people's boundaries. When someone says no, no is no. Even if someone had said yes in the beginning and they later change their mind and say no, you're supposed to stop and accept this person's decision. Because if you go beyond that and later come to tell us, no, but they said yes at first, then later when we had started, they said no, this will still be considered rape or sexual abuse or any of the other things I had listed below. I want to also quickly talk about the different forms. So as Diane had talked about, it can be digital, where she had mentioned taking photographs of people and then sending it out without their consent, or sharing explicit images with each other. That can be also under digital sexual abuse. There's also verbal. People don't take this one too seriously. Sometimes you're walking on the road and the borderman saying sweet words to you, and you just laugh it off. Sometimes it can turn into something serious that would be considered sexual abuse. People saying jokes. Sometimes some jokes can be quite inappropriate, and we don't know where to draw the line. Just know anything that makes you uncomfortable, and it's putting pressure on you, that can be put as, not every joke is funny, let's be honest. Sometimes people will crack a joke and they'll think, oh no, this is fine, I say this to my best friends. It's not always accepted. Not everyone's going to take your joke as it is. Even sexual comments, talking about people's bodies publicly. You don't know how comfortable people feel individually. You might be pushing someone's boundaries without knowing. Oh, look at her, she's a little slim, what? And you take it lightly, but the other person is dealing with something internally that you might not know on the outside. Lastly, it's physical. So just these things that we call in quotes bad touches, and includes fondling, touching people inappropriately, or any unwanted physical contact in general. There are so many consequences that come with this, so it doesn't only affect you, it also affects people's families, their communities, and it makes it even harder when you're trying to make it. And you know, being young, you don't want other things to limit you like this. There are so many other things in life that you're trying to push through. So I just want to quickly talk about the physical consequences, and these may be injuries victims may suffer. So this is like, there may be damages to you internally that you may not know. They might be genital damage. People think, oh, because, the man might think, oh, because he did it and he's fine, you should be fine too. But our bodies react differently. I don't know, not many people know, but people are actually allergic to condoms. And someone might not know this, and this might put your body into shock. I want to then move quickly on to unintended pregnancies. These can also lead to that. A lot of times people think, okay, it has happened, I didn't mean for it to happen, but you know what? I can quickly go to the pharmacy and get Plan B or emergency contraceptions. And not everybody knows, but most times, if your body is ovulating, it won't work. It's not 100% guarantee that you'll be safe from an unwanted pregnancy. And as we all know, abortions are now illegal in Uganda. They've always been illegal. It would lead you resorting to places that are very unsafe. And this can then lead to permanent damage. So later on, if you might want to have children, it might be impossible. It might lead to so many other risks like infections and also inquired costs. We're all young people, we're watching how we spend. You don't want this to be part of the things you're spending your money on. I want to also quickly go into the psychological and emotional consequences. As we all know, mental health is very serious. People don't talk about it that much, but I feel like in today's world, we've started to make it more aware. And people don't realize, because someone can touch you in a bad way and think it's okay, and you'll come back the next day and you're stressed out, you can't focus at school, you can't focus with the people around you, you become depressed, and all these things can become lifelong challenges. It's not something you can always fix overnight or telling a friend. It's never that simple sometimes. So we always must keep that into consideration. Also, low self-esteem. Everyone has a few things that they like to say. They're trying to build the confidence of, like, parts of your body that you're trying to be happy about, because as you all know, we're growing, you change, and all these things. So it might lead to low self-esteem, where not everyone will understand because you don't publicly tell people about this. Lastly, I also want to talk about the social consequences and also economic. So people who are very close to their families, it's very hard to open up about the things that have happened to you. Let's say you were raped, let's say you were molested, and when you sometimes do, some families may say this is not accepted here and they don't want that shame to be carried around. And they might keep it to yourself. And that leads you into other things that we had talked about, like being depressed and so on. So I'll just say, if this has happened, always know there's someone you can reach out to. It doesn't always have to be a friend. Sometimes you want it to be more confidential. There are toll lines that do work in Uganda. So don't see one and think if you call, no one's going to pick up. Someone will pick up and actually help. Yeah, so I just want to quickly pass it on to Henry so he can go into safeguarding. But I hope this has kind of given you like a brief explanation on sexual abuse. Thank you.
All right. In one of my workplaces, we had a scenario where a safeguarding issue led to death. Are we hearing? A safeguarding issue led to death. So it so happens that guys were in competition over something. It could have been a guy, something like that. And one of the ladies was sharp enough to drop a little poison in her food. Yeah, where I used to work about, that was in 2009, maybe, somewhere about that. And what seemed like a normal fight led to the death of a staff member. Now, the reality of safeguarding, just to confirm, Bob, how much time is left for us? Bob? Mark? How much time? 15, good. So I end at, all right, okay, 15. So just like my colleagues have said, safeguarding is turning out to be a very, very, very serious issue. My colleague, you mentioned a question on culture and safeguarding. When we enter Rahu as an institution, the culture and the value system of Rahu is what we take on. Let me repeat this. The moment you enter Rahu, your culture, your religion will be respected, but we take on the value system of Rahu as an entity. It doesn't stop you from being a Muslim or Christian, but there are things within the workplace that must be respected, because this is an institution that brings together all kinds of people from different backgrounds. We were invited for a wedding somewhere in Arua as an institution, and that institution was focusing on girl-child protection. When we got there, you know how Kwanjulas are done. They start with grandmothers, then they go to aunties, then they go to mummies, then they go to... By the time they brought the girl before the congregation, they had brought for us a 14-year-old girl going to marry a staff member. And we had the company vehicle that had protecting children. And interestingly, the guy that was getting married was our safeguarding officer. Now, his argument was, my culture from Arua accepts me to marry a girl as long as she has started getting her periods. She's of age. And of recent, even girls of 9, 12 are able to get their periods. Not so. So the girl was 14 years of age. On his end, culture takes precedence. Our end as an institution, your culture is good, but we have a value system as an institution, and that is what we focus on. Are we together? Now, I also want to talk about something, and my colleagues have really spoken much about this, and I'll share another story. Are we listening? There's a lady, she's now 55 years of age. At the age of 16, when her parents died, she started surviving. And one person told her, but there's one way of earning money, and that is prostitution. So she went into prostitution at the age of, actually 15. At the age of 16, she got her first baby. She didn't know who exactly the father was, but she continued in prostitution. At the age of 18, she got another child. So she had 2 children in a space of 4 years. And by the time the lady stopped prostitution, she says, on average for her to meet her daily income to look after her children, she needed to sleep with an average of 5 guys per day. 5. She was in prostitution for 40 whole years. Do the mathematics. How many people she slept with? But this is what she said. Guys, if I ask any lady right now that I want to sleep with you, and each time I sleep with you, I'm giving you, okay, let me use a modest figure, 100,000 shillings. Oh, it's little, eh? 500,000. It's still little. And you're receiving it per day. Oh, 1 million, eh? Oh, 1 million is little. So this lady used to charge about $10 to $50 per person. So she was earning over 500,000 per day. Now, in a week, how much is that? Yes. 500,000 a day on prostitution. I would take that money. It's good money, clean money. Not so. Who wouldn't take that money? You're earning 500,000 per day. Sorry? Oh, it's money. All right? It is money. Guys, don't deceive yourselves. Right now, even if you are told you are going to earn 100,000 per day, you will go for it. And I'm not talking about prostitution. But this is what she said. This is what she said. Money through sexual exploitation is very sweet money, but it is extremely painful. Painful in terms of you see, it's just that most of us are clean people here. If you've talked to a prostitute, even if it's a workplace prostitute, you walk into this place and you've slept with 10 staff members. They've given you money. The pain of it, first of all, when you think about what you went through, and this is what she was saying, there are those that wanted to have sex from the front, others wanted to have it from the back. Others would clearly tell her, if you want more money, I will not use condoms. Others, she was actually saying that others will actually beat you to pulp, then have sex with you. Others would tie you, one leg here, and have sex with you. And that is the pain that the lady had. And when we are talking about sexual exploitation, abuse, it is real. Young girls that are here, it is real.
I just wanted to give an example, but like I won't mention the people's names. So I had a friend, and for her, she was connected to someone, and this someone receives a commission of 1M. So there are these old men. They already made the money. They're very wealthy, but every time of holidays, they send this guy, bring for us like around 5 girls. We're only going to be doing only 6, but we are paying however much they want. So these girls actually go there. Okay, they do it, of course, like for money. Maybe they have problems and what. So one of these girls told me, was like, okay, this man, what he used to do, he would have sex with me every time, anytime he wants. And some of them will be like, he won't have sex with me, but he would want me like to undress myself, try to be seductive and all that. So, and this would happen like for a whole week, but they would be paying them every time any kind of money they want.
And you're right about that. You guys have heard the MOOB story of a group of about 10 guys. I don't know. The guys who just, for every sexual encounter they have with you, they pay you 200,000 shillings. Just here at MOOBs, yeah. And girls are flocking that place. And the boys are enjoying. But remember, you'll have sex with them, and they will take a video of you having sex with them. Now, the consequences of failure for an organization to protect its staff against abuse is a reality. Are we together? And I want to implore staff members of Rahu. I know you have power. I know you have authority. I know we have girls and boys on this end who need your support, who need a job, who need a livelihood. But guys, it's traumatizing to see a woman going through pain. I can see their hanks at the back there. I can see beautiful ladies at the back there. There are probably young men here who look at you and, you know, they like you. They've admired you. I was telling Diane, I used to visit Navisunsa Girls' School, and I was a bit of age. And there's like a young girl who would write a note to me. And I would look at this girl in a school uniform, and I'm thinking, this one here is trying to pass on something to me. At this age, she was, I think, in S4 or S5. I don't know. But it's very possible. And that's why last time when we go to meet here, we were assuming nothing is happening here. But I know things are happening in this place. And it's important for us to say, once we have chosen to say we are implementing safeguarding in this place, then the respect has to come in. Now the question is, can I have mutual sexual consent in a workplace? Can I? Can I? Can someone, maybe the guys at the back, is it acceptable to have a relationship with these guys here? No, why? Sorry? It's against the policy, but my question is, beyond the policy, what is your gut feeling? Sorry? It creates a toxic work environment. But are these things happening? No? Guys, are these things happening? Guys, I'm putting you on the spot because I know the reality about any workplace. For as long as there's a lady, there is a guy, something will happen. All right? One of the cases, I don't know whether I shared with you, one of the cases that I shared with you guys was a lady that was interested in the gate man. Did anyone ever expect a woman of high class, in a workplace, by the way, to be interested in a gate man? Probably not, probably yes. I was in Ginger College for a few years. Our gate man and security man was the smartest guy in the entire school. Ginger College, so many years ago. The guy vibed one of the teachers, the most beautiful teacher who was married to the deputy head teacher. When you would see Moses at the entrance of the gate, you would think he's a principal or board of directors. The guy was so smart that when he puts on slippers, you forget the slippers and just look at the neatness. Moses would bathe for almost 1 hour. And boys would wonder, what is Moses doing in the bathroom? But it's very possible. She's saying matters of the heart. All right? So I want to encourage all of us here as we conclude for today's session that sexual exploitation, abuse, and harassment can be extremely detrimental to your life. Whether mentally, whether physically, whether psychologically. And I want, as much as possible, ladies, I know the economy is tight, not so. Things are tight. A little money from me, my dear friend, you will not say no, even when I'm being innocent. A little money from me. Actually, you come after this, I give you a check. Yeah? Now this one is saying the girl has no transport. That's not good. But what I'm trying to say is the environment that we work in and live in is serious. We live in a money economy. You need a little something, someone will tell you, I want something special from you. And before you know it, you've slept with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. And you cannot keep aborting, friends. You cannot. Sorry? Someone is saying you'll wonder about your womb. But it is that serious. I want to conclude by saying this. I know there's a hand up here. You want to go ahead and say something? Please go ahead.
There is a scenario.
All right.
Okay, I just want you to give me, to tell us.
All right.
That you as a, you as a peer educator, you
All right.
as a risk management officer, you as a, other positions.
Yeah.
What you will do in this kind of scenario.
All right, go ahead.
Basing on culture, I'm so sorry, really are Muslims around, but
Mm.
yeah, the Muslims, most of them marry young kids.
Oh, yes.
So from my area, I know you're not going to turn and go back to them.
Please go ahead.
So from my area, there is one, these people who even lead those prayers in the mosque.
The imams, eh? All right. All right.
Went ahead and married a 14-year-old girl. After marrying that girl, he took her to his place. Okay, I think the parents wanted great praise and all that.
All right.
Financial, whatever. But he took that girl to his place,
Mm-hmm.
used her for a week, and then returned her back home and was like, you know what, you don't know anything, you don't know how to do the chores, go back to your parents' place. They do what? They teach you how to do everything around this place. But remember, he has been using this girl.
Mhm.
This girl was a virgin
Mm.
in the first place and looking up to egg, but he's putting her back where he got her from. So, what would you have done in this kind of?
So, in safeguarding, there are matters that an organization can handle. All right? But there are matters that are criminal in nature. A 14-year-old girl, that becomes defilement. That becomes a police case. It's non-negotiable. Even if the mom was a staff of Rahu and we have an existing policy that talks about beneficiaries, I don't know who it is, but that becomes a criminal case. Clear. And that is defilement. So there's no way around that. However, I want to say this, and probably you said it. People do not do certain things because we have a policy in place. Beyond policy, what is the culture of Rahu as an institution? Because there is the policy that is written on pen and paper, but there's the people that you hire into the institution. The practice could be different. The attitude could be different. So there are people, even if right now, many of these people that are here either go to the mosque or go to the church, and they talk about the same things. Not so. But we still come here and talk about safeguarding. But the guys are not changing. And yet we still have a policy. And guys know the carrot and stick of the policy. But guys are still doing it. Why? Is there an irresistible attraction between man and woman that we shall never deal with until the world comes to an end? Is it there? The other question is, what is it about this thing called sex? That for us, when we look at a woman, it's so appetizing that the next thing that I want to do is to flip over your panty and just get inside there. What is it about sex? Ladies, what is it about sex? Guys, what is it about sex? Sorry? Some people are just addicted to sex. But is sex good? Is it good? She's saying she doesn't know. Guys, I'm asking, is sex good? Is it? Not all the time. Under what circumstances? All right? If you're told you're married, okay, and when there's consent, is sex good? Boyfriend, girlfriend? But in an organization like this, we must have boundaries. Guys, let me repeat this. The leaders that are behind there, Joanne and your team, we need to protect these guys. Even when we choose to throw them into different institutions, we need to share our code of conduct with them. They must have an agreement with us to protect the institutional image, the institutional memory, but also protect the image of you as an institution. It will be so sad, by the way, Rahul, that you've sent peer educators and one has been molested, one has been raped, one has been sexually abused. It will be very sad. And so what is safeguarding? To be continued next Friday. Thank you. Oh, there's a hand up here. Please go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry, I know our time is up, but there is a question I want to pose to everyone in this room, including myself. If your girlfriend or boyfriend one day asks you to send him or her your nudes, do you do it or?
Okay, so we'll probably talk about, you guys, nudes. Disgusting. Is it a question where anyone would actually want to say yes? I don't know. Sometimes I feel we look a bit terrible when we are naked, but yeah.
I think I would like to answer a little bit on Hajati's question.
As we conclude?
Yes, as we conclude. I think you have to think through. You have to think twice before doing it. I don't know how, but you have to think through, is the person that you're sending it, is it really mature enough. Actually, most of the people that ask for nudes, they are not mature. Either an elder person or someone bigger than you, okay. Yeah, isn't mature if someone asks you for nudes. Either you think twice in case I send the nudes, what will happen if we are no longer together? Because most of the times we meet people, and at the end of the day, it's not the person that you will be with internally. So you guys may break up, and just in case your nudes may be used as an advantage to put you down.
All right, I have to conclude, Mark, not so? And there are 2 questions. Should I take them or not?
Me, I'm talking about her question. You people, let us stop normalizing bad behavior. You people, these things, no. Let us stop normalizing bad behavior. As a girl, why are you tolerating a man who's asking for your needs? What is the reason as to why you are even sending? He does not respect you enough to ask for your needs. If he wants them, let him come to your place or go to his place because you're dating. And let him see whatever he wants to see. But why is he entertaining the fact that you should hold your phone or stand in the mirror, remove your clothes and send them to me? Let us stop entertaining bad behavior.
Some men.
All right, someone is talking. Someone is talking.
I think some men, why they ask for nudes, because they think that nudes are part of the relationship. Yes, it's a spice. It spices the relationship. That's what they think. That's what they think.
All right. You still want to talk about nudes? Honestly, guys.
Yes, for me what I want to say is,
Guys, can we keep quiet? All right?
whether it is about spicing or not, let's be very cautionary in the sense that we shouldn't leave any evidence behind. This is just a mere relationship. You're not even sure whether you're ending up with this person or not, whether they are marrying you or not, and you're leaving your whole entire body with someone who is likely to use it even against you. So let's not leave evidence somewhere.
No. Guys,
He cannot use them because I don't put my face. Thank you.
So guys, we're not going to take 10 minutes discussing nudes. Do we agree? Yeah, our time is fast spent, and I'm going to give... All right. No. You said something.
Thank you so much. I think men need to be educated about that because fine, most times they ask for them. Yeah, most times they ask for them, but then sometimes they don't know what will come out after. Yes, they need to be educated.
All right, lastly. All right.
I think I agree with what the lady said. Yes, there are so many ways.
Just a minute. We can have the conversation of nudes and the types of nudes and the channels of nudes during lunch. But let's conclude this.
I think there's so many ways. She talked about spicing the relationship. I think there's so many ways that you can still retain your dignity and spice up your relationship. And 2, the internet never forgets. We can name names the whole afternoon. You know them. Some of them are celebrities. Some of them are in your friends' groups. Those images, trust me, the internet does not forget. Whether you think it happened 10 years ago, I think we should have sessions on certain skills we should have even as ladies or as gentlemen, because 1, you're going to be professionals, you're going to be your peers now. people have to learn from you. Are you sure what they want to pick from you is how to send nudes to men? Let's be careful about the kind of image we're even setting for the future, because you may be a president one day and someone finds, we know these scandals. Let me tell you, if you try to search for those scandals from years ago, you'll still find the evidence on the internet if you really know how to look. So protect yourself first. And I still agree with the lady. If a man respects you, please let him first do the right thing and not ask you for nudes.
All right, so we have to conclude this, and anyone that has said something, including you, we shall push it for next time. It's a question, totally different. I don't know whether it's acceptable for me to accept another question. I need to be very sure from the team here. Can I take another question? Yes. Okay. It's a hot topic. But I want to conclude on that topic and say, anyone, whether intended or unintended, that wants to do more than you've already given in your body to this guy, what else does he want from it? So you take the pics, so what? You take the video, so what? Guys, of recent organizations are doing internet background checks just to understand your behavior, your character behind the workplace. So they are looking at your professional background, but they're also looking at your social life outside work. And almost 3/4 of your social life outside work is on this thing here, called the phone. Within this phone, most of it is internet-based. And I agree with this young lady. What's your name? Hazel. You've made a very, very serious point. And I pray that no one ever falls victim. I've also been telling marrieds, you are married. So why you? I see this body day and night, head to toe, inside out. And you get married people also taking naked selfies, taking videos of themselves. What is the intention? Just doesn't make sense. All right, lastly.
Thank you. One of the speakers emphasized about a no being a no. But then there are instances where, like, I say no, but then my actions are the total opposite. I'm like, I'm not interested, but I'm leading the way to, yeah. How do we go about that?
I think for me it's two-way. I'll insist that for me, from my upbringing, a no is not a weak yes. And that's what guys think. When you tell a guy no, a guy is thinking it is a weak yes, because it's the first time. Now, of course, your actions will sell you. You're saying a no, but when he sends you money, you never reject the money. When he calls you to his house, you say, I am coming. In fact, what are we going to cook tonight? When he tells you, can we share a bed, you say, it is okay, but the boundary is here. You sleep there, I sleep here. Then you put a line or pillows in between and say, don't touch me, because I've already said no. Your actions will speak louder than your statement called a no. And some of you say no while looking the other side and smiling. No. It can't work that way. Your actions should speak louder than your words. And I want to say this. We need to gain the confidence to speak out. If something is inappropriate, then it is inappropriate. Are we together? Let me repeat this. If something is inappropriate, then it is inappropriate. And guys, let me say this. Let's learn to protect one another. Some of you have secrets on the dirty things we've done in the past. Do not use that as a basis to pull someone down. Because we all have a history where we failed to do something appropriate or something right. All right, so if you have nude pictures, delete them. Guys, if you have nude pictures, delete them. Ladies, if you have nude pictures, delete them. All right, so thank you so much. You've been a wonderful congregation, and looking forward to meeting you again on the 31st of January 2025. Thank you.